With Broadway shut down, many theater professionals are finding new creative outlets, and some are sparking change along the way. Meet Macy Schmidt, a 23-year-old orchestrator who was working at the Tina Turner musical and the Aida revival tour when the shutdown happened.
At the time, even a month shutdown felt completely impossible. So the fact that we are still 7-8 months later in this, and that there has not been federal aid to Broadway is really, really horrifying to me. I think at some point we all just kind of adjusted to, we have to keep creating this time because Broadway's not waiting for us right now.
With Broadway on hold and the Black Lives Matter movement igniting change across the nation, Macy, who's Egyptian American and always felt a lack of representation in her own industry, decided to do something about it. So she created Broadway Sinfonietta, the first all-female orchestra with a majority of musicians being women of color.
Instead of hoping for change, you made this change. You founded this all-female orchestra.
I had this idea and this dream on the back burner for so long, and I guess it just kind of felt like a basic, tangible first step mission to be like, if I can give paid employment to female musicians of color, isn't that like the most tangible, most accessible thing we can do right now? So it was really exciting to be able to call up women of color, a lot of whom have Broadway shows that are closed down, and be like, do you want to be paid to work and to play your instrument, which is what you do for a living?
Everyone tells me to know my place, but that ain't the way I play.
With a 20-person, all-female, diverse orchestra and show-stopping vocals by stage favorite Solea Pfeiffer, Broadway Sinfonietta released their first music video titled You're Gonna Hear From Me.
I may be unknown, but wait till I find you're gonna hear from me.
When you're together, you're recording, like, that feeling. Tell me more about what it was like. And not only are you all together, but then producing this beautiful product. I mean, it sounds amazing.
It was the first time I had been in a room where I was surrounded by people like me. To be able to be with people who you don't feel like you have to censor yourself or downplay yourself or minimize yourself or worry that you're stepping on toes when you remind someone this, that, or the other thing about who you are, it's so freeing. And it's an interesting perspective shift because it's just like, oh, wow, yeah, I don't usually act like this. I don't usually speak so freely. I don't usually take up this much space in other rooms. And in this one, it was just like, okay, let's sing, let's do it, let's support each other. But it was also exciting. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm performing, actually, not just like staring into my phone in my living room, you know? I was like, I have an audience today. So it was like medicine for my soul. It was such soul food. It was amazing. And to get paid, you know, and that was helpful.
Yes, which is always an added bonus.
And it's very important. And, you know, I feel very, very strongly about that. I feel very strongly about paying artists, not just when there's COVID, but especially when there's COVID.
Right.
My gosh. But, you know, I don't want this to be like the song for women of color. I want to show that like women of color in every facet can make big, splashy, traditionally white Broadway music. Women of color can be the ingenue and can be like the glam icon in the room, and that Solea brought all of that and more. And while she was singing in that room, I was just literally pinching myself.
Listen, world, you can't ignore me.
These lyrics go like, listen, world, you can't ignore me. You can't count us out. The world is changing and we're gonna change it for you. So let's go, you know?
Yeah.